Hey there, on this episode I'm going to show you how to remove a back seat from a 2009 CRV, Honda CRV, and how I'm going to prop up my bed after I remove the back seat. After a couple suggestions, one from my friend and some comments, I agree it probably makes more sense to get rid of my back seat, at least the bigger chunk of it, just so I have a lot more space to store my stuff. So we can just see here, this whole section is the back seat, and this goes all the way the middle seat and the right seat. I am going to be leaving that seat so I have a little place to get in and out and have a change area and stuff. All right, the first step is I've moved out the cushions. I need to get this board back so I can get down in here. To remove the back seat, we got to go under here. There's going to be a hoop back here, right there. And you just pull that away from the seat and pull up. And even with all this stuff around it, you can get this up, just like that. Now all we have to do is pry off this and this with a screwdriver, and there'll be two lugs under there to loosen up. So these plates come up. You see, they're already kind of loose. You just need to, there's a little thing on the side here you need to push in. This little clip right there. There we go. A little bit of barbarian strength and pushing the nubs in, and first one's good. Okay, there we go. Got it off. So the next step is we're going to use a wrench to loosen these two nuts here. All you need is one of these doohickeys with the right thingamajig attachment to it, and we're good to go. What you're left with are just these two caps and these two screws with washers. Okay, the other thing you need to do is there's a cap right here. That cap needs to come off with the screwdriver. There we go. Those caps are a bit of a pain in the butt to get off, I won't lie. You got to get the screwdriver in the right spot about halfway up and pop it, and then it comes right off. It has to pivot down off of the hinge. Now the last step is there's two more lug nuts or whatever on the front that we need to take off. All right, so the last two lug nuts we need are right there. This one and right there. And off the front side we've got this one and this one. They're actually different ones. One's for the middle and one's for the outside. And we've got, once again, two more screws with washers. So in total we'll have 8 pieces, 4 of these things, and 4 screws with washers. That's it. Now it's time to lift this thing out of here. It's gonna be really heavy, and so be warned. This thing's got some weight to it. It's probably about, oh, I don't know, 45, 50, yeah, about 50 pounds, 55 pounds maybe? I don't know. So we can see now without the back seat, there's quite a bit of room in there. I mean, it's the entire volume of this down. So I can fit all my backpacking stuff in here, which is fantastic. So now all I need is something to attach. I think I'm gonna use these, some bolts that go in there and just create a little frame. All I need is basically a piece of wood that goes up to here with some bolts. That's it. Okay, it's nighttime now, but I figured out a solution. I went to the store, I found some brackets that will fit. So these are the holes I have to screw into. There's also ones on this side. Remember, I took out 4. Well, it's too hard to mount anything this way. So I'm gonna be using this one, but it's not flat. It's hard to get anything that fits in here, but to build a platform, I wanna use these because it'll be really secure. I'm gonna use the exact same bolts that came with the vehicle and just put it through this piece of metal to hold these brackets in. Then I'm going to attach some boards, these boards, to this to make a standing frame here. There we go, nice and snug. That's not going anywhere. Okay, so the final design I came up with is this. This is, I don't even know what it is, just some board I found in my backyard to salvage. It looks like a 2x6. You could use a 2x4 or whatever. I was using a 1x6 or 1x4, and they just weren't thick enough. So because I want screws in the bottom, so that's what I did. I put 2 screws in the bottom, and I'll put 2 here, and or maybe 3, but technically I could put 2 boards in here, but there's not enough room because I have to put the bolt in the end right there, and there's no room to crank it down. So what I'm going to do is put this in there and then secure this in there. Then I'll put another 2x6 or whatever, something like this here, in there, and then I'll put the screws in the side, but I can't put the ones in the bottom just because I have to be able to tighten this screw. So I'm going to put that, this is going to be my bed frame for the 2. These are 16 and a quarter long, 16 and a quarter inches. And then I'll put another board on top for the cross beam, and that's gonna be it. Screw that down. Okay, so I figured out something amazing. See this post? This one is perfectly straight up and down, but the one back there is crooked. Once you attach them to those things, you can just pull this post like this. You can just pull it and bend the metal so it's straight. And then once this is straight, I can put another board there and attach it. And I'll have a perfectly vertical board. So this one, once I attach it down here in those holes, then I can bend that one straight. As you can see, this is super secure. This bracket down here is not coming out. All right, it's next day here. I worked long into the night to get this done. So let me show you how I got this all set up. All right, so we can see the platform here. I've got this secured. I ended up, I wanted to keep this modular and easy to move out, but I ended up attaching it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 screws underneath. So it is super stable. You can't move this thing at all. I did test, I can get out my spare without having to take this off. So this is what I ended up doing. I put this screw in here that came with it, with this bracket I bought. Bracket's $5. Lumber I just salvaged from around here, and 3 screws, 2 or whatever. And then I also put another board in here because I was initially going to try to just lay this on here and have it attached, but oh well, works well. There's a good footprint on here that sits on, and super stable. Now after building this, I thought there was actually another option for building these legs, which would have been really easy. All you do is get a long bolt, like a really long bolt, as long as you need. You can cut it to size, but in my case I would need 17 inches. As I said, I did 16 and a quarter inches for those legs, and then another 3/4 of an inch for the wood on top, and actually ended up being a little bit higher than that, but that's fine. But yeah, you get a bolt that long, and then just make sure it's the exact same thread size as the one that comes stock with the CRV or whatever vehicle you're using. And then you can just twist it in there and then put a nut on there where you want it to stop. And then you can put a nut where you want the board to sit on the top, and then you just put like a washer or a couple washers with a bigger metal plate that sits on that. So it would just sit on the washer. So all you would be using is the metal rods to be holding up your bed, as long as you put a flat topped thing on top of it. That would work too. So I know the last video I promised to do the organization. I'll be doing that on the next one. I had to get this bed sorted out first, and now I have a lot of extra room. I know exactly how much space I'm gonna have, as well as storage I'm gonna have on top of my vehicle. So stay tuned for that. The next video will be all organization and maybe figuring out some shelving or stuff like that, where I'm gonna put my clothes and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you stick around for this series. Thanks for stopping by. Hit the like if you enjoyed it. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/DavidHiking if you want to support me. Until next one, have a great day.